Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Jared at 3 Seas Recreation. Just got back from the Nioa, so it was round 6 of the New York Off-Road Series. First time for Lex to be on a 125. Got a mid-pack start, worked his way up to first by the end of the first lap, led half the second lap, and he told me he could just feel his clutch going. So yeah, no clutch left, and I'm waiting for him to come through, and then I see him like coasting the bike. It was at a ski resort, so coming down the hill, I'm like, kind of the same spot because he blew up his KX100 earlier at the youth race. So tough day for Lex, blew up his KX100 and the clutch is gone on this thing. So this is an ex-factory race bike, so I never checked the fluid to see how bad it was. I'm sure it was burnt in there, and then I think the clutch plates are now destroyed. But let's start this thing real quick and let's see if now that it's cooled down, because when I hopped on it at the race, it was super hot. The clutch plates are probably, I mean, they're probably junk. We're not going to try to use them, but let's see. Let's start this thing real quick. And you can see the clutch stuff. Yeah, there's like nothing there. It's kind of moving, but it's not. So that's because it cooled down a little bit. So there's definitely no clutch there. So the first thing I did is I loosened the pinch bolts for the clutch perch, and I rotated it so this is flat. That way it's not tilting downhill, because he does run his levers down just a little bit. So let's crack this open and see how bad, or if there's even any fluid in there. I don't know. So kind of stinks that it happened at the race. He rode all week, bike was great, raced a 24-hour race. Yeah, it's super dark. So that fluid should be way more clear in there. You can barely see the white little cap inside of there. So I still don't think that that's probably what fried it. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna flush this in a little bit. I'm gonna drain all this out, put all new fluid in it. But the first thing I wanna do right now is I wanna drain the clutch oil and see what that looks like. So we had just changed this oil, I think Thursday before the race. So like 4 days ago, we just changed this. So it should have 690 to 700 cc's in there. So I don't think that should be the problem. That's super dark though. The clutch is definitely fried. So that clutch oil has like less than an hour on it. So super dark, and you can see it's already got a ton of fibers on the drain plug. So we'll drain this all the way out, and then we're gonna get this clutch cover off and have a look inside there. All right, so I went ahead and got the rear brake out of the way, and oil's obviously drained. Put the drain plug back in, and let's see how crappy this looks in here. So I don't want to rip the gasket or the O-ring in there. So what we're going to check first is the push rod here, or the little slave cylinder inside the clutch cover. I'm going to squeeze the clutch up here. Okay, so you can see right there. Can you zoom in a little bit, right? So that's doing its job. So that's doing a pretty good job right there. So it's actually working pretty good. And so the next thing we have is these springs in here. I wonder if the springs are shot. So we'll get these 5 bolts undone. If I can pop this little thing out of the middle, they do come out. Just kind of stuck in there. Well, it'll come out with a plate. So we're gonna get these 5 bolts out next. So the plate looks okay. The little washer looks okay. All 5 of these screws are fine. Let's see. Hopefully it's just a clutch. Hopefully there's not more back in there broken. Yeah, looks like it's pretty good back in there. So let's start pulling these apart one at a time, and we'll look at them and see what's going on in here. All right, so as we pull these apart, things are getting worse and worse in here. So check this out. This is wild. So first I'm like, these clutch plates aren't bad. Like these are fine, you know, whatever. And then like as I'm going, this is a friction disc, and it's grooved like a brake rotor. And then if you look at this pad, there should have been pads on this. You can see how there was at one time. They're pretty much gone off of there. Holy smokes, look at this one. Come on in here, right? Come on straight in. Look at this thing, it's gone. It's like, it was a steel fiber at one point. That's crazy. So I'm assuming that with the factory race team, they just like threw a clutch back in this thing. Yeah, look at these clutch plates are gone. So the good news is I think it's just clutch plates, and which I have a brand new 125 sitting in the garage here that we're gonna steal them out of, but wanted to fully diagnose it. we're gonna clean the heck out of that. We'll get a lot of brake clean in there. We'll get that all cleaned out. We pulled the drain plug back out so I could try to like push some of that oil like down and out, get that out of there, and we'll clean it out. But man, look at this one. Like this chunk of the friction is stuck to the steel fiber. It's crazy. So kind of bummed that it happened mid-race, but at least we found what was wrong with it. So just totally burnt the clutch. So we're gonna do all new clutch fibers, steels, and then brand new springs as well. And then we're gonna flush the fluid in his clutch, so that way the whole system's brand new and he's gonna get a couple seasons out of it. So that's what we found. We'll start putting it back together. Funny thing is I brought this bike over to build for Braxton. I'm gonna build him a new 125 here. So the cheater way of me doing this is just to give Lex the whole new pack. I think I'm just gonna put this whole assembly right in Lex's bike. That way we get everything new in there. I'm gonna look at that a little bit closer, but I think I'm just gonna slide this whole assembly right into Lexus here in a minute. This basket's fine. Like there's 0 grooves in it. It looks really good. I'll get it all cleaned up with some cleaner later. This piece looks really good on the outside. There's no grooves in it. Looks fine. So I'm gonna save all of this. Let's see. This looks fine as well. There's really nothing wrong with it. Just needs to be cleaned once I get these out of the way here. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna give Lex the whole new clutch. That way we can start riding and practicing this week. And I'll save this for Braxton's bike. Look at that. Got a new clutch in there. Gonna be good to go here in a minute. Ready? Go ahead and open it. Sweet. Go ahead and close it. Yep. And we're trying to get all that old fluid out of there. That way we can put all new stuff in there. Okay, go ahead. And then close it. So we have some air bubbles. We have a little bit of air get in the system, so we're just working it back out. Clutch is feeling pretty good. Open it. Oh yeah. This is what I use here. All right, Lex, go ahead and open it. And then just click into gear and see if it creeps and runs away. Awesome, this clutch is already fixed. We just got home like an hour and a half ago from the race, washed the bike, it's all ready back together.